Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're entering the world of social skills, and we're going to learn how to sweet talk someone. There's a quote that I want to start off today's talk with. The quote goes like this: "A spoonful of honey will catch more flies than a gallon of vinegar." And take it however you want to take it, but the way that I take it is that this quote deals with social skills, but more specifically, it deals with masculine and feminine energy. Whenever I think of masculine energy, I think of assertiveness. I think of someone that's bold, and at times they could be aggressive if need be. When I think of feminine energy, I think of soft. I think of loving. And at times, I know this is a polarized word, but I think of submissive. I'm not talking about man or woman. I'm talking simply about the energy at this point. And whenever we're thinking great communication skills, one of the first things that we think of is the masculine side of things. Is this guy assertive or not? When I'm shaking your hand, I don't want it to be shaking a limp hand. I want it to be firm and I want it to be strong. That's how I assess if you are a strong person. But throughout this quote, when I think of what this quote is trying to say, it's saying a spoonful of honey will catch more flies than a gallon of vinegar. What I'm starting to notice is that every now and then, despite you being a very masculine presence, you need to invite certain feminine energy in certain interactions. And I'll tell you a day when I realized this. I'm not a big fan of tow truck companies. I mean, these guys, what's their business model really? They're over here taking your property and charging you to get your own property back. What's up with these guys? But I see the need for them, because without them, it would be the wild, wild west. People would be parking wherever they wanted to. There was this one day when I had to quickly drop something off to a friend. And I drive right by his place, but I don't necessarily stop at the parking lot. Instead, it's a few meters away from the parking lot at a place that I'm not supposed to be parking. Who cares though? I'm just gonna drop something off and then I'm going to come back to my car. So by the time I dropped the thing off, I would say it took me 30 seconds. I'm coming back to my car, and no lie, I see this guy towing my car. Now before, if you wanted to tow someone's car, there was a string that you had to use in order to, hook it onto the other person's car, the victim's car, and drag it up. It would take roughly 5 to 10 minutes. But nowadays, a lot of these tow truck companies have one of these levers that could just scoop up one of your wheels and drag you in. And as I saw that, I started to yell at the guy. I'm like, hey man, what the hell? I was only gone for 30 seconds. Why are you already taking my car for? Put it down. Right? I came at him with a lot of masculine energy. And then he was just like, is that how you talk to someone? And he said it in a way where it wasn't a fully rhetorical question. It was one of those things where you had to be there, where he was really asking me, is that how you talk to someone? I was roughly 22 years old at the time, and this gentleman was at least 50 years old. And I think he was using this opportunity to teach this 22-year-old something. And from his tone, I could sense that he was trying to give me a do-over. And I said, no, man, that's not how I talk to someone. My bad. I was actually really upset because, you're towing my car and I was only gone for 30 seconds. Can you please help me out? Can you please lower the car? I'm struggling with money right now. I took this softer approach to him rather than coming at him with this aggressive energy. And he's just like, that's better. And he lets my car go. Now, a lot of the times, this is not going to work. Whether I come at him with aggressive energy, soft energy, whatever, he's going to maybe say, well, I'm just doing my job, right? But this was one of the scenarios where More ego and more assertiveness, even borderline aggressiveness, was not going to tame the situation, and I had to adjust my strategy. One of the best ways in order to sweet talk someone is knowing when to adjust your strategy. You see that both of you guys are coming at this with a very aggressive, assertive attitude, and that's when one person has to switch the strategy. If neither party switches the strategy, then nothing's going to happen. And at times it's like, okay, if nothing happens, whatever. This isn't a make or break sort of deal. But other times, you really need your car to be let go. You don't want to get towed. So alter your strategy. Play to their ego just a little bit. And when you play to their ego, you're not being a straight up spineless coward. Instead, you're taking that softer approach. You're saying, I see exactly where you're coming from. It's the exact opposite of assertiveness, to a point where you're more like a sponge. You're taking in information rather than trying to output information. And from that altering of strategy, that's when you'll see a lot of deals suddenly get made. And often, when you switch the strategy at the perfect time, when you see that this guy is about to be a volcano that's about to erupt, that's when this person later on, they come back into the present moment and they're just like, thanks, I appreciate that. And in the future, they're going to let you have your moment like that, especially if this is a long-lasting interaction where one day you have to be more of the assertive one in the dynamic, and this other person is now going to switch the strategy for you. So this is how we sweet talk someone. We don't always want to be vinegar. We don't always want to be tough, assertive. This works in movies and TV shows, but in the real world, due to complex dynamics, at times we need to activate honey. And we activate honey by toning down the masculine energy and every now and then showing a burst of the feminine energy where we're more receptive. And by being receptive, it disengages the other person. It makes them think, oh, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. And during troubling times, this other person is going to let your car go and you can drive off smoothly. So if you enjoyed today's talk and you want to learn more about social skills, be sure to check out the ArmaniTalks free daily newsletter. In this newsletter, I tell more stories that deal with social skills, public speaking, creative writing, and plenty of other soft skills that you were never taught in school. Check out the ArmaniTalks newsletter by checking out the link in the description box, the pinned comment, or go on ArmaniTalks.com/newsletter and sign up today. Thank you very much for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.